This is King 5 News, Tuesday, September 4th, reported by Jean Enersen and Mike James.
Good evening. An Army Chinook helicopter squeaked through some storm clouds and plucked 3 climbers from the top of a blustery Mount Rainier this morning. The rescue brought to an end a climb that started a week ago as a charity promotion for a Seattle disc jockey, Terry-McDonald. He was trying to raise money for a fight against muscular dystrophy. The climb gained publicity all right, but McDonald and his 2 guides might have died had the helicopter not gotten in when it did.
They see us? All right! They see us! Okay, are they sitting down on that saddle or what?
They're going to sit down wherever they can. The pilot's got to make that judgment.
Yes, they are going to land. They're going to let 2 Rangers out.
They're going to land.
God bless you, Army.
Oh, God. We can't even talk. We're crying. Oh, God.
They said that the chopper was there, that they could see the chopper, and the excitement just built by the second. You know, I could see it, and all of a sudden, they see us. And at that time, all 3 of us cried.
We spent about, 15, 20 minutes trying to get in. It looked like we weren't going to make it. We were just talking about coming back to refuel because we're getting low on fuel, and it opened up. So Captain Fryer made the approach in. It looked like it was going to be pretty much in between the clouds there as we made the approach in. As soon as we got on the ground, it cleared off.
After that, it was a relatively routine rescue operation, and the big Chinook helicopter brought the climbers down the mountain. But the last couple days atop Rainier were anything but routine. The 3 men were literally struggling between life and death. The most critical time was yesterday, when their tent had blown away, and they were trying to find shelter in steam caves that dot the summit.
We got in about 350 yards in an hour, and Rob was leading the line. And I didn't know this was going through his head or through Dave's head, but it was sure going through my head. I was dead. I said my prayers, I said goodbye to my family, and I had said hello to my ancestors, and it was all over. Rob looked down to his left, and there was a little hole in the snow, and he started digging at it, and I didn't know what he was looking for, and it turned out to be a crevasse that was about 180 feet long by 60 feet deep, and it was heaven. There was 15 degrees in there, but there was no wind, there was no spindrift, no noise, and it saved our lives.
We could have gotten down at almost any time, but we would have to leave our friend and client up there, so we took it to the limit. You just can't do that. But as far as from mountain experience goes, that's as close to dying as I've ever come.
Rob Newsome and Dave Bishop will go mountain climbing again in the near future. It's their job. But for Terry-McDonald, he doesn't think so. Not for quite a while, anyway. He will make an exception, though. He says he'd like nothing better than to climb Rainier again someday with a young man or woman who's been cured of muscular dystrophy. At Fort Lewis, I'm Don Madsen, King 5 News.
McDonald is the morning disc jockey on KYYX, an FM rock station. And while he was caught in the snow on the mountain, his friends at the radio station kept all-night vigils. Here's Dennis Murphy.
96.5 KYYX and Sean Lynch, how you doing this morning? Boy, are we glad that we got Terry-McDonald off the top of Charity Mountain, which is...
FM rock radio is a tough competitive world. In the past, KYYX has given away free gasoline and doubled listeners' paychecks as promotions.
Thank you, everybody.
So an outrageous stunt for a good cause seemed like a natural.
He was actually doing his show from up on the mountain. On Friday evening, they hit the summit of the mountain. And it was at that point that the weather changed dramatically.
The disc jockey's boss says the promotion raised more than $27,000 for muscular dystrophy. But the snow on Mount Rainier never stopped.
It's turned into something of a nightmare with a happy ending. But it's really impossible to think of it in terms of promotion any longer.
It started developing late Sunday night. The tent was starting to go, and Monday they were going to move. And that's when we realized that we had gone beyond a promotion and into a drama, a true life drama. And that's when it started getting scary for us.
And this is Sean Lynch thanking everybody that helped us pledge our way to the top during the Charity Mountain Radio Marathon. Our total...
So while the experience may have shaken the staff and the morning drive disc jockey up on the mountain, it doesn't mean there won't be more promotions and crazy gimmicks. The rating period for Seattle radio stations begins in 5 days. In Seattle, I'm Dennis Murphy, King 5 News.
School began today in Mercer Island, Lake Washington, and Bainbridge schools. Most of the public schools around the state start their classes tomorrow, but not in Renton. Larry Kelly reports.
This was to have been the last day of summer vacation for these children. Today, their teachers were to have been in the classroom getting ready for the 4,000 children in the Renton School District. But the 600 teachers have not agreed on a new contract with the Renton School Board.
As of yesterday at 1 o'clock, the school district declared an impasse. We are presently waiting for a mediator to be assigned from the state.
Waiting for a new contract are other Renton school employees, the 125 people who clean the schools, drive school buses, and run the cafeterias.
The membership's authorized our negotiating committee strike sanction. If we don't reach agreement today, we will be on strike tomorrow. Unless, the process of mediation, if it appears like we can get settlement, we're prepared to meet all night.
We have postponed the scheduled high school registration for today and have indicated that school will not start as we originally expected for students tomorrow. We have not made a decision with respect to decisions regarding either of those from this point forward. In light of the inability to have a mediator immediately available, it probably seems unlikely that school will be starting before the end of the week.
To avoid any legal problems, the Renton School District is avoiding using the words strike or work stoppage. They're referring to the delay in getting school started only as an extension of summer vacation. In Renton, I'm Larry Kelly reporting for King 5 News.
Seattle schools will open tomorrow as scheduled. Despite a last-minute snag in the negotiations, Seattle teachers have ratified a new contract. Jan Bridgman reports.
Members of the Teachers Association waited almost 2 hours while negotiators and district officials hammered out last-minute details. The hang-up had come over language in the contracts for teaching assistants and clerks.
I'd like to call the general membership meeting of the Seattle Teachers Association to order. Will you please take your seats?
Then they got the news. Teachers would get a 5.3% increase in salary, setting scale at a minimum of just over $12,000, a maximum of about $23,100.
And the cost of living is escalating, and we're losing ground. Be that as it may, we settled for what we believe to be the best language possible under the new legislative guidelines.
Union leaders had said all along they didn't expect to make major gains this year, and they didn't. The new contract looked very much like the old one.
We did not gain what we wanted for special education, for affirmative action, and a whole lot of other areas that had legitimate complaints, had legitimate changes that needed to be made in this contract. But I think we gained everything we could have been expected to gain this year.
The members voted twice, the first time to voice their displeasure with the contract.
All those of you that feel that these, and I'm referring to all three contracts, are fair and equitable contracts, please indicate so by saying aye. All those who do not feel they're fair and equitable contracts, please indicate so by saying no.
No! But the second vote said it wasn't worth striking over.
Ratification of all three contracts presented to you this morning, please indicate so by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? No. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Then teachers left for their classrooms to spend the rest of the day preparing for tomorrow's influx of students. At the Seattle Center, I'm Jan Bridgman, King 5 News.
Teachers in the Edmonds district have also settled their differences with that school district in time for their first day of work. Teachers overwhelmingly approved a new contract that gives them a 5.1% increase in base salary. School opens in Edmonds on Thursday.